The International Federation of Christian Churches is rejecting new COVID-19 regulations announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa. This week, the president said that indoor venues can accommodate 50% of their capacity, provided that those in the venue are fully vaccinated or that they can produce a negative COVID-19 test not older than 72 hours. The Federation is slamming what it says is a backdoor introduction of vaccine mandates and says that violates the rights of religious freedom, or the right to religious freedom as guaranteed in the country's constitution. Let's expand further on this. I'm joined tonight by Pastor Giet, Khoza, who is Secretary General of the Federation. Pastor, a very good evening to you. Welcome to the program. So 50% capacity is the rule. People have to either be vaccinated or show proof that they are COVID negative not older than 72 hours. Why is that such an unfair deal for you?
Well, absolutely. So firstly, we thank you for just inviting us so that we can explain our stance and why we are rejecting this from our government. Just to give context to this, on the 13th of December last year, we met with Minister Mondli, who was testing the waters, I would say, to say how will the community in the faith respond to the vaccine mandate. We told him straight away, don't go there. We'd rather partner with you, encourage the people to vaccinate. And then he said, we'll come back to us. On the 8th of March, we met with the Deputy President with the same topic, but they were saying they're going to open 50%, which we do welcome, by the way, because that's what we've been asking for the past 24 months. But we did say to the Deputy President, there is no way you can include a condition to prove if you are vaccinated or not, so you can be allowed in the worship space. That is absolutely not acceptable. Number one, we don't know how the certificate look like. We don't know how it look like. There's a lot of fraudulent things that happen in our country, or any country for that matter, particularly online stuff. So we don't know. And also, why now we are made the police to police the vaccination rather than to partner. And then thirdly, this is a violation of somebody's basic human rights to fellowship wherever they want to go, to say you cannot come. And then we should be the one to divide the congregation based whether they are vaccinated or unvaccinated. Mm-hmm. So imagine somebody coming to church and we say, no, you're not vaccinated, you cannot come in. It's absolutely not acceptable. Fourthly, the president and his team, they never came back to us to say, we are going ahead, so, we're going to go ahead anyway. They didn't give us feedback. We didn't know what they're going to announce. But our standpoint is no.
So you say it's a violation of the rights of people who are either choosing not to be vaccinated or cannot be vaccinated to fellowship where they want to. What about members of your congregations who say that they are only comfortable to fellowship around people who are either vaccinated or those who can prove that they are not COVID positive at the moment or before going to the service? Is their right not also being protected here?
I think this issue of vaccination or not vaccinated, let me respond in this way. Churches, we were the first one out with our government to encouraging people to vaccinate. Some churches that belongs to IFCC, they have sites that they encourage people to vaccinate. So we support the vaccination. What we object is to say it must be mandated on people, not even after we've agreed. Backdoor, it just get announced, we must just do it. No infrastructure. How do we do it? We just have to do it. We just think we are being highly disrespected with our government, because if you look in all the sectors, we're the only one, in terms of the last 24 months, we have been complying, typically, month in, month out. Even when we felt we are being discriminated by our government when they should give us more numbers, they wouldn't, but we comply. But I think after we've told them, please, don't go this way. They go ahead. I think, you know...
And Pastor, pardon me for jumping in. I just want to pick up on that very point, because you mentioned it earlier as well in our conversation, that you counted 2, right, discussions that you had with Minister and the Presidency, Mondli Gungubele. You say you were also invited to a forum where you interacted with the Deputy President, David Mabuza. Now, when you gave them this feedback, and they were supposed to come back to you if what I read from your statement is understood correctly, what did they say when you raised these concerns? Did they say that they'd give you regulations in line with your concerns, your grievances? Was that the commitment you were given?
No, they say they understand and they will come back to us. They said they understand because we gave factual. And it wasn't only IFCC. Other religious people and the church leaders were very clear. We're in agreement, all of us, don't go there. We're not going to able. So we have been put in this position where we have to part ways with our government because we're not going to agree to this one. We're totally not rejecting it and we're not going to comply.
Rejecting it, not going to comply? What do you mean by you're not going to comply? Are you only going to implement the 50% capacity but not going to check the other 2 aspects?
We will, the measures that are in place, the masks, the screening, we're going to continue with those because we have committed to those. This one that has just been thrown at us, we don't even know how to even implement it. We never agree on it. We're not going to apply. We're not definitely going to apply it.
Once again, to be clear, when you say you're not going to apply, what you're not going to apply is what? The requirement for people to be vaccinated?
We're not going to ask people when they come to church whether you're vaccinated or not.
Okay.
We'll require the mask.
Okay, so you're going to require the masks. Will you go with the 50% capacity or will you fill up completely?
No, we always follow the rules in terms of what we are given. We have always followed the rule. We'll do the 50% that we're given.
Okay.
And do the social distancing. We'll make sure that the social distancing, people are safe, the ventilation is okay, but we're not asking anybody whether you're vaccinated or not. Okay. Absolutely no.
So what then would you say to the question of the view of churches, should you then be pursued as having violated COVID-19 rules? Are you saying at this point that members of your federation are saying they're willing to face whatever consequences that come with convening a gathering that is not fully compliant with COVID rules in this case?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we have just been put in this position. So come what may, but this one we're not implementing.
Let's go back to your relationship with government. You had, throughout the 2 years of the pandemic, been called to meetings. At some point, I know church leaders and other faith leaders, in fact, had been sitting in Zoom calls, even with the president, right, around 2020, 2021. As things stand, are you willing to then have a follow-up meeting? I know there's a public participation process that's open now where we can all make submissions about new rules to replace the state of disaster. Is that the forum that you will pursue then to influence whatever comes after this point?
No, absolutely. We have always wanted to work with our government. So we have reached out to say we would love to meet with them again. So we're going to make sure that we follow up. And we're hoping we'll find each other. And we're just hoping. And if we can't, then obviously it's a tough one. We'll cross that bridge. Whatever what needs to happen, we'll do. But we'll pursue them. We'll make sure this is not implemented. We believe it's wrong. And by the way, Tembekile, it follows science. If you look at Professor Shabir Mahdi, he said it there. He said these rules are outdated. They serve no purpose. They're irrelevant. His words, he said, they're inconsistent. Why government is still pursuing things that are not working? He even further and say, you're not trying to stop the infection. You're trying to stop the consequences of the infection. To have this thing in place, it's irrelevant. It's there. He said it. Actually, he said it in this station.
Pastor Giet Khoza from the Federation of Christian Churches. Good to have your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tebekele. We appreciate you. Thank you.